Namaskar. Very good afternoon, dear learners. I, Dr. Renu Tomar, welcome you on the discussion on the foundation of sociology or sociological foundation of education. Friends, this is part 3 of the series of lecture which we have initiated previously. First of all, let us try to understand, which we discussed in our previous lectures also, why is it so relevant as far as the foundation, studying sociology from the perspective of foundation of education. Why sociological foundation of education is so important that it has to be taught to the student of education at UG as well as PG level. Friends, whenever we decide the aims of education, any nation decides aim of education, any policy is decided, like NEP 2020. Let's take the example which is very fresh and known to all of us. NEP 2020 has been decided keeping in view the society in mind, that is the socio-economy as well as socio-psychological perspective of the nation at large. So, the society plays a very important role as to decide the aims of education, as to decide the perspective of education. So, that is why it is so important for us to understand, learn and keep on updating ourselves as far as sociological approach to education is concerned or the sociological foundation of education is concerned. So, friends, we have to understand this topic from the perspective that it is historical also in a nature, that to understand that how the education is to be perceived presently or how it is to be taken as to have an effective role to play in the future, we have to see how the sociological foundation has played an important role in assigning and deciding the aims of education in the past in various societies, and whenever those aims have been decided, how far they have been achieved, so that we can decide upon the futuristic aims as well as the aims which are achievable and measurable. So, that is why foundation, we need to understand and study the sociology as a foundation subject. Foundation, as the word itself clarify, means that we have to understand that sociology is foundation of education. Now, friends, this concept is clear that sociology has to be understood, learnt and further updated, keeping in view that it is foundation of education, foundation of educational policies, foundation of education plans, foundation of even the social, or we can say the community decisions also, which are decided at a school level or the district level or the zonal level or even the state level or the national level. Another important aspect of understanding the sociological foundation of education is that we have to understand that education does have an impact on the society. Education is also a tool as far as educational as far as sociological changes are concerned, social mobility is concerned, social stratification is concerned, socialization are concerned. So, these are basically the phenomena which we have to understand: socialization, we have to understand social change, we have to understand social mobility, we have to understand the social stratification and how they have an important role, how they have an important role in deciding the perspective of the education or the aims of education, as well as the important role education plays as a tool to bring out these particular phenomena. So, we have to study the relationship between sociology and education both the way, that is from the perspective of education as well as from the perspective of society or sociology, that is impact of education on the society. This is also we need to understand. So, these are the basic features which foundation covers as far as sociological foundation of education is concerned. Now friends, just to recap whatever we had done in our previous lecture, that is the part 1 and part 2 of the series. We studied what is sociology. As to understand, just to remind you or just to recap, the sociology we had defined was that it is something which focuses on the groups, societies and institutions. That means the sociological approach to education examines how belonging to particular nation, state may affect an individual experience of schooling or higher education. We also try to understand and evaluate that the sociological approach focuses on our attention, that how educational experiences may be differentiated by our social groups. Friends, what does this mean? This means that educational experiences of the social groups means the groups which are divided by ethnicity, the groups which are divided by religion, the groups which are divided by region, the groups which are divided by language. They are differentiated or brought together by educational experiences. So education, this is what we understood in the beginning, that education plays a very important role as far as the bringing out or we can say that managing the society in achieving what the society, community or nation aims at. So that means social foundation of sociology also explores the impact of education on how social groups are formed. The scale of such sociological analysis is also studied, maybe at the local level, and even the interaction between two individuals within the class is also explored. For example, we try to understand that how in a class the two students who may be belonging to different ethnicity or different religion or different region, how do they interact? Because when the students are coming together in the class, they are not coming alone. From their families, they are from their society or community in which they are living, they are bringing along certain cultural, sociological values, and those values are being exchanged. And while exchanging those values, what we are doing is we are managing socialization. So classroom is a place where socialization is done very appropriately. How do we do that? By deciding role allocation to each individual. Socialization in the class is taught as well as understood by the students as they interact with the peer group. They understand that while working with their peer group, that in the society they have to work in team and they are dependent upon others as to achieve their roles or their goals. So we studied socialization in our first and the second part of the series. We also understood socialization from the functional perspective as well as structural perspective. Friends, we understood that as far as socialization is concerned in the school, it is not just the norms and values are taught to the kids. How do we teach norms and values to the kids? We teach them, like the first example is that when a child enters the school, he is taught basic discipline, basic punctuality. That means that if the student has to enter the class, he or she has to take permission from the teacher. So thereby we are teaching them punctuality, discipline, as well as teaching them that they have to respect the elders as to gain from them. Apart from that, we teach them individualism. Individualism is taught in the education or in the schools where the education work as a primary vehicle for such learning. Like the child who is good at debate, he or she in the long run understand that this is how he is or what he is. That is, every student has the particular traits. So in the class, those particular traits are worked upon and the child slowly and steadily understand his own individualism. Another important aspect which is taught to the child in the class is competition. Competition, which is very important aspect of socialization, as well as very important aspect of social stratification also. Through competition, child understand as well as is placed in certain strata, placed in a strata like the child is good in discipline, the child is very good in games, the child is mediocre in mathematics, the child is excellent as far as language is concerned. So what we are doing stratification in the class, and apart from that we are also providing competition to the children, that these are the good points, as an individual these are the aspects which you have in yourself as well as in common with the other people, and you have to compete with them as to excel. So class is a place, education is a vehicle through which we teaches socialization. We make the child learn social norms, values as well as skill they need to function in society. What kind of skills are needed to function in society? Simple example is that whenever those of us who drive, we know that there are certain traffic rules. Apart from that, there are certain behavioral skills which we have to follow during driving also. Like apologizing is a basic, we can say it's a value, but it has to be learned as a skill. Apart from that, we also understand as to live in the society, we have to learn the basic living skill, life skills. Life skills, as we have discussed in our previous lectures also, friends, if you remember that we talked about life skill in my previous lectures, in which we talked about the basic life skills which are required as to be an happy as well as prosperous individual. So they are also taught during the schooling, and thereby education work as a primary vehicle for such kind of learning. Friends, we have understood that as far as socialization is concerned, that is one of the functions of education. And although it is seen that this is not something which is plotted by any teacher or administration or the government as far as teaching to the children so particular values, but that is something which is being done. For example, patriotic values. How do we teach them patriotic values? By making the child of 2 years or 3 years stand as soon as the national anthem is played, as to give them respect to the soldiers, the armed officers. We make them value the patriotic values. We make them understand that that is very much relevant in the society. Apart from that, we make them respect the authority. For making respect for authority, usually in the class the teacher keeps on telling the children, see, whenever you come across the principal, you have to wish her. Apart from wishing her, you have to maintain the silence, and that is the way as to pay your respect to the authority, that you should be maintaining silence and not speaking until and unless asked, as well as while speaking also you have to be very respectful. So these are the things which are taught not just from the books but also from various classroom activities also. Another function which we have discussed was social integration. What does social integration means? When the different value systems come together. How does different value system will come together in the class? Classroom is a place which has no defined social values or social norms, because the kind of a social values which classroom stands for is sharing and caring. So when a student come bringing certain social values, they are being transported or transferred in the other children automatically. That is not really requires, it doesn't require really special efforts. So when we developed compulsory education in 19th century, when we developed through RTE, we made that all the children should be there in the school. One of the function was to make them literate. Another important function was to socially integrate them as well as socialize them. That means whenever the child is going to the school, he is understanding that his values, the values which are being taught to him in his family or in the society from which he is coming, they are not the only one which exists in the society. They are not absolute. In fact, there are other norms and values also which exist in the different kind of community and society. And as to live in the society at large, he should understand how to respect them, how to follow them. So that way we are teaching social integration in the class, and education is again working as a vehicle for social integration. That is why we have created a system of free and compulsory education. Through free and compulsory education, we are teaching the children automatically without making any special efforts. The social integration, respecting their values, patriotic values are being taught, respect and the discipline is being taught, and apart from that, the children are being socialized as to become good civilians in the future or the good defense professionals. So they are being taught to become because in a democracy we require a person to become a voter should be knowing the country at large, should be knowing the nation at large. Friends, this is the reason why we are teaching everything which is required for a person as far as to survive in a democracy. Those basic things are being taught till class 10th. That is why when we say what is social studies till class 10th is just general. Similarly, when we talk about science, that is also generic in nature. Why are we teaching those in a generic manner? So as far as social studies or social sciences is concerned, we are teaching that in generic manner so that the children understand that what is required for them to live in a Indian democracy. So his expectation which nation has from him, as well as what he can expect, what are his rights, what are his duties as far as constitution is concerned, all that is taught to him consciously. So that is the reason why we have compulsory education. As we had an example before also, that why in the US English was made a compulsory subject, and the students who were basically Spanish or French, they were made to study. The education system was changed in such a manner that the medium of education was maintained as English, and slowly and steadily the efforts were made by the government that the students will try to enhance their understanding of different subjects in English medium. Why was it done? So that the children, despite having the differences of the language which is being spoken at their home, may it be the Spanish or may it be the any other language, despite the differences of the religion, despite the differences in the culture, they would be prepared by the schools for becoming part of workforce. They could be integrated into American life. So school was used by American government, the US government, for the natives of who have the native language as Spanish, Vietnamese or any other language which the parents were speaking at home. This movement was taken up. So it was a very conscious movement. So friends, from this you can understand that education is a tool in the hand of government, and conscious efforts are made as to bring out changes. These conscious efforts are nothing but the social change. Social changes which are introduced in the society consciously through education. So this is also one of a agenda or one of the purpose of education. We understood that as far as the function of education is concerned, it also places students. Places students means that it make them understand that what they are fit for from the perspective of their understanding, from the perspective of their intelligence also. So when the children are evaluated as well as informed that they belong to that particular criteria, in fact what we are doing is that we are placing children in particular level and teaching them that this is something which suits you. This is the skill which you should be enhancing. This is the career which you should be taking. So education is a tool which is used by the government as to advocate social placement. Another important aspect of the education in socialization is that it works as a bringing out the social and cultural innovation. How does it bring out social and cultural innovation? Like if you want to introduce something in the society, then naturally education is the tool through which we introduce. Just to give the example, when we introduce computers in the classes as a main subject, what are we doing? We are doing technical innovation is being introduced in the mindset of students. So thereby we are preparing students for the future, which will be governed by technology, which will be governed by IT, and so because now AI has become very important, artificial intelligence is becoming important day by day. So that is why we are educating our kids formally, informally or non-formally in coding or other subjects which will make them understand and place themselves in the future. So these are the things which are required, and we are consciously introducing them in our education system as to bring out social and cultural innovation. So if we talk about social innovation, the simple example is that those who got educated, they worked upon, because when the Britishers introduced education, in a way through education they also introduced that there is no difference between the individuals, the Indians, based upon caste or community, region or religion. So thereby through the education system we introduce social innovation, we introduce social equality. So social equality is nothing but social innovation, we can say. So education worked as a tool, and in fact all of us know that when the people got educated and slowly and steady, we were able to get rid of various kind of social evils which existed in the society, social evils which were in the form of sati pratha or the child marriage. We also talked about the latent function of the education. The latent function of the education, like usually why do we send the children who are 3 or even before 3 to the preschool? So that we get a kind of or we can say crèche. What kind of function does the crèche or the preschool plays? It is performing the function of child care, particularly when the mothers are working, when the kids are there for the several hours. They are not just learning, they are also being taken care of. So another important function which we talked about in our previous lecture also, that establishment of peer relationship. In fact, it has been seen as a latent function of education. It has been seen that when the students go to the school as a latent function, they are we would say that as a specific function which education system has provided to them is as to score marks and get the job. But as a latent function, they are coming together, they are meeting their peers, and in a way also developing the relationship. Even the marriages are being resulting due to the people who are studying in the same classes. So this is also one of the latent function of the education. So we can say that as far as socialization is concerned, that is a function which education is performing, and education is working as a tool of socialization. Apart from that, as to socialize, we are using education as a tool. So another important aspect is that we have the agendas, we have the policies designed and decided for socialization of the students, and education here is working as a tool. Apart from that, we also understand that as the society exists, accordingly we decide upon the education. So that is also an important aspect. So friends, we have to understand that when we talked about socialization, apart from that, stratification is also being introduced in the class. The stratification, which is something which we cannot get rid of. From the theoretical perspective, we can say that social stratification is wrong, but is it from the practical purpose? Can we say that social stratification is something which we can get rid of? Definitely not. We will have the stratification in the society from the economic perspective, from the religious perspective, as well as from the cultural perspective, even the political perspective. That is always going to influence the social orders at larger or smaller scale. In the class also we are having stratification. How are we introducing stratification? On the basis of marks, on the basis of the fact that in which field the student is doing well. If the student is doing well in the games, we say that they are the kids who are good at games. If the students are good at mathematics, we would place them, stratify them in the group which is good at mathematics. Mathematical group, we are having the mathematical group, we are having the various informal setups which are there in the school education as well as higher education system for introducing the social stratification as well as socialization. So we have to admit that social stratification is in itself is not wrong, but it has to be seen from the positive perspective. Usually in the universities we have the credit system, like the students who are good at speaking or who want to learn speaking because they are not excelling in that, and they realize that that is something which they will be requiring when they will going for the job. So that is also a skill which is being taught through the subjects which they can pick up and learn as well as perform. So without introducing examination system, those subjects are being introduced, and accordingly the children or the students at the higher education or the school education can learn that basic skill. So friends, on this note, I would like to recap that what we have done till now. We have understood that education and sociology are interrelated. We have understood that education work as a tool for socialization, social mobility also, social change also, and social stratification also. In detail we have discussed how the education or schooling plays as a role of a tool as far as socialization is concerned, function of socialization is concerned, or function of social stratification is concerned. In the next lecture we will try to understand that how social mobility is having an impact on the education as well as how education is having an impact on the social mobility. Apart from that, we will also try to understand that how social change has been brought in the past or it can be brought in the future by utilizing the education as a tool, and how the social change, that means the change in the society, has had an impact on deciding the we can say the fundamental perspective of the education, or we can say the aims of the education. On this note, I, Dr. Renu Tomar, is signing off with a promise to join you back again in the part 4 of the series of Sociological Foundation of Education. Namaskar. Good afternoon. Have a great day.